In Activity 4.06, I'll demonstrate appending records from another database. Now, Access only allows you to open one database at a time. But if you open another instance of Access, a second instance of Access, then you can open one database and the new instance, thereby getting around that limitation. So as I go down to the dock and I hover, I see that I've got just the one instance of Access running. If I right click, I can open Microsoft Access a second time, and notice when I hover you'll see two windows now. The one on the left is the 4A city directory database, and the one on the right has no database open. I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to navigate to my documents, or my desktop, and I'm going to open up A04A city employees. And now when I hover, you'll see I've got the original database, 4A city directory, and the new database, A04A city employees, opened up in two separate instances of Access. Now, if we look at Office, we'll see the same structure that exists in the Office, Employees Office of the other database. And these are three new names that we haven't seen yet, and three new department IDs. Now notice it says it's department, and in the other instance it's called department ID. This is going to cause a problem when we try to import or append rows to the 4A employees office. Those field names have to be identical, and so we're going to be forced to change this department ID field name, but I'll show you what it looks like before we make that change. Okay, so here's the old 4A, or the original 4A city directory that we've been working on, and I'm going to go to the second database I've opened up. I'm going to close this object, and I'm going to copy 4A office. Then I'm going to go to the other instance, and I'm going to paste. So this is how we're pasting from one database to another, and this should be 4A employees office. We're going to append it to this one right here. It's going to fail, and it's going to fail because the field department doesn't exist in the destination table for a employees office. All right, well, that means we need to go in here and we need to look at design view, and we need to see, okay, department ID, backspace 3 times, close, and save the change, and we'll try it again. We'll try to paste 4A employees office, append the data, okay, and it's in there. And now we see we have 7 records, whereas before we had only 4. Now we still have personal information that we need to go get from that other database. So I'm going back to the city employees database. I look in here and I say, okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I'll highlight 4A personal and click copy. And instead of pasting here, which would make a copy locally, I'm going to go back to the 4A city directory database, and I'm going to say paste, and I'm going to hit escape because you see where the cursor is. So let's go ahead and close that object. Click in here, paste, and we're going to change this to 4A employees personal, append data, because we want it to go in here. We say okay, and if we look at personal, we now have the information for those 7 employees. Now I'll go back to the A04A city employees. We've copied data from these two tables, so I'm going to go ahead and close this instance. And looking at the employees office, we see 7, or I'll close the navigation pane, and looking at employees personal, we see 7, and they share the same employee IDs. We haven't actually linked these yet. And I'll go ahead and close both of those objects, and that completes this activity.